Nothing left to drink. Well, might be a bit salty, but here goes nothing. Hello, my fellow Whovians, and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review the very beginning of Series 3. Woohoo! Series 3 of the new series of Doctor Who, which is actually, hint hint, my personal favourite series of Doctor Who. So, oh boy, I'm excited about this one, that's for sure. Which is also the introduction to Martha Jones, a new companion, yes, of the David Tennant era, and it's David Tennant's second series. It's also the 179th Doctor Who story, and look, I've even brought a straw. So, Smith and Jones, well, the first episode of Series 3, let's get into it, shall we? Just when it seemed it would be yet another chaotic day managing her family disputes, Martha Jones finds trouble waiting for her at work. Trapped on the moon, with space rhinos looking for a criminal and the air running out, she will have to come to trust a seemingly mad stranger calling himself the Doctor. But can the Doctor save the day this time? So, that's Smith and Jones. And Smith and Jones, this is a fantastic opening to Series 3. It really is amazing. And I'm not trying to be biased when I say this, but it really is very good. There's only one tiny thing I'll say about it, one itty-bitty complaint that I have, and that's the kiss scene. The kiss scene with the Doctor and Martha is totally unnecessary. It doesn't need to be in the episode whatsoever. And the excuse that was a genetic transfer, yeah, my arse, it was a genetic transfer. It was just an excuse for the Doctor and Martha to kiss, and to be honest, it just didn't need to be there. The Doctor was bigging it up, saying, "Oh, this will save everybody's lives, you know, just forgive me for doing this," and he just kisses her out of nowhere. It's, yeah, sorry, Russell, I don't buy that. But I really do like the story of this one, how it's pretty simple. I mean, there's space police called the Jadoon, which are these great big rhinos, are coming to look for this alien called the Plasmavore, so they bring the hospital up to the moon, and they go searching around the hospital to find the Plasmavore. But first of all, let's talk about Martha Jones, because this is her introduction. Freema Agyeman plays Martha Jones, and Martha is great. I absolutely love Martha as a companion. She's definitely one of my favourite companions. She's probably one of the most underrated companions of the new series. Martha's beginning is interesting because we're seeing her basically as Piggy in the middle. She is dealing with all sorts of family issues, not like Rose was. She basically is dealing with her parents' divorce, her brother's birthday party. She also has a relationship with her sister that she's trying to deal with. So there's constantly everybody is in her life and she's trying to micromanage her life without it falling to pieces. And she's also training to become a doctor, a medical doctor. And even though you could argue it's kind of repetitive to see another companion and their family life, I actually kind of liked seeing how Martha was dealing with all of that chaos and showing how her life was very different to Rose's life in series 1 and 2, and how Martha was, just basically trying to solve all this chaos that was going on. And I like how when they meet, the Doctor and Martha, they have an instant rapport with each other. Like, Martha makes all these suggestions, then the Doctor's like, "Oh, that's brilliant, never thought of that." So they have an instant chemistry, which is really great, and I really do like their moments on screen together. And she does have difficulty trying to trust the guy at first, but after a while, I think because he knows everything and he's the person that helps save their lives, she just puts her trust in him. I mean, she doesn't have much of a choice, to be fair. And this episode is just a ton of fun. There's constant momentum with it. It moves at a terrific pace. The action romps along. There's a lot of running in this episode down the hospital corridors. Anne Reid, who plays the Plasmavore, or Mrs. Finnegan, she disguises herself as a human to try and hide away from the Jadoon who are trying to find her, and then she assimilates Mr. Stoker, the consultant, his blood to register as a human. But of course, then she makes the mistake of registering the Doctor's blood, not knowing that he is a Time Lord. The scenes when she is assimilating the blood is pretty horrific. Like, the only thing I don't get, though, is how can a straw like this one, like a sort of plastic straw, how can that pierce through someone's skin? I mean, it's got to be pretty robust. I didn't quite understand how she could do that, but it was still pretty freaky to watch. So, yeah, I mean, I'll let it go on that basis. David Tennant is also very good as the Doctor here. He's very funny, and he's actually wearing a blue suit this time. It's every so often he will switch his suits over, but I quite like him in this one, and he's very funny, especially when he's trying to get rid of the radiation in his body, and he takes his shoes off and he goes barefoot on the moon. Jadoon platoon on the moon. I think the design of the Jadoon is really cool. Like, they're these big buff police, and when they take their helmets off, they look like these rhinos, and they scan everyone. They say, "You want to be catalogued." They have these sort of really deep voices, and they say things like "skull, bone, no, flow, tro, go, roll, toe," and all of that. And then they translate to English, which is interesting. But they're not actually the central villains of the story, which is interesting. But it's cool to see them, and their ships are like these massive sort of tube-looking things. They sort of descend on the moon and take over the hospital, but they're not actually threatening. Although when one person fights back, he does get killed. So they do take their jobs pretty seriously, and they don't hold for any crap. So if you mess with them, you'll pay. Aliens called the Slabs. We don't really know what they are. They're just kind of these guys wearing motorbike helmets. It would have been nice to kind of see what they were, I think. That was a sort of missed opportunity there, but I still think they're pretty cool for what they are. I mean, they're just the Plasmovol's goons. And I think visually, this story is just immaculate. I mean, the image of the hospital on the moon is just spectacular. This story definitely appeals to sort of a high sort of budget. It almost looks as though they're trying to appease to kind of a sort of a low Hollywood standard budget for a TV show, which is quite impressive, actually. But what keeps this going is definitely the rapport between the Doctor and Martha. Both perform very well. Freema Agyeman makes a great debut, and she will go on to be, I think, one of the best companions of the show as the series goes on. I really like Murraygold's music as well. I like Martha's theme. It's very different to Rose. It's kind of a little bit haunting, a little bit mysterious, but almost a little bit heroic as well. Because Martha goes on quite a journey through Series 3, and we'll see just to what end that is. And it is kind of funny seeing Martha's family descend into chaos. I mean, Martha's got her mother, Francine. She's got her sister, Tish. She's got her brother, Leo. Her dad is Clive, and then the dad's girlfriend, who's called Annalise. At the end, there's a scene in the pub where, after Leo's birthday, things go completely wrong. And she storms out, and then Clive's go, "I'm putting my foot down, I'm putting my foot down," which was quite funny, but bless Martha, she's living with a lot of drama. And then the very last scene when she sees the Doctor, he goes back in time and he takes his tie off. Like we see at the beginning, he approaches Martha and he takes his tie off and then comes back to her. And that bit never made sense to me until the very end of the story, when he does come back with his tie off, and you go, "Oh, okay. So he was already there." There is a Rose reference in this one, but it's not quite as put on as the Runaway Bride. And the Doctor basically says, "I'd rather be on my own, but you can have one trip to say thank you for saving my life." Because Martha actually has to resuscitate the Doctor. She tries to do CPR on him, but obviously he has two hearts, so she has to do it more than once. And then she gives the last of her air to him and helps him stay alive. And then, of course, the Jadoon leave and go from there. I like the end of the story, like I've said, and when he says, "Welcome aboard, Miss Jones," it's nice, and it's interesting seeing Martha's reaction to the TARDIS when she says, "It's bigger on the inside," and he's like, "Is it? I haven't noticed." So overall, Smith and Jones is a really good story. It's pretty simple for what it is, but it's a fun way to begin this series, and a great introduction to Martha, and just a great looking story overall. Visually, it's just incredible, and David Tennant is great, and it's a ton of fun. It's not my personal favourite of the series, but I still really like it. So overall, I'm going to give this story a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic episode. I do think the kiss is unnecessary, and like I said, the issue with the straw being, piercing through people's skin, I don't quite understand that. Anyway, thank you for watching this review, and stay tuned next time when we review episode 2, The Shakespeare Code. So until then, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.